WJLA 24/7 News. This is Good Morning Washington, on your side.
For children and other family members, incarceration is a daily reality that lasts well beyond a jail sentence or a prison term. According to the Economic Policy Institute, 1 in 10 African American students has an incarcerated parent, and 1 in 4 has a parent who is or has been incarcerated. In her new book, Teen Guide to Living with Incarcerated Parents, Anye Young shares her personal story on coping with her father's 12-year prison sentence. She is here along with her mother, Ladana Drigo, to tell us more about this. So thank you both for being here this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so this is your book, and let's talk about first the inspiration behind your book. You're just 16 years old.
Yeah.
So what made you write this book?
What made me write the book was really just seeing the cycle and seeing that the children of these incarcerated people were following in their footsteps. And it made me feel like I was destined for that too. And I realized that it affected more people in this world than just me alone. And so I just took that step to do something for them, to do something for the kids that feel the same way that I do.
Yeah. Now, what are your coping mechanisms? Because we were talking during the commercial break, you said in the tweens, your tween years, this was really kind of difficult for you. And I can imagine you have father-daughter day at school. And what are you feeling at that age?
At that age, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling a sense of abandonment, you're feeling sadness, you're feeling anger, frustration, all of these emotions. And sometimes you don't feel like you can necessarily open up to just anyone about that kind of thing. And so my coping mechanism, I really had to develop it on my own. I didn't really have help to go through that kind of thing. So I just had to forgive my father, and that was probably the hardest process because I thought that I'd forgiven him and I realized that I didn't. And then also appreciating what you do have rather than, focusing on what you don't have.
Right. Your mother would be what you do have. So Ladana, what's it like for you? Obviously you didn't plan to be a single mother.
Definitely.
So what's it like for you to be in the situation yourself and then see your daughter going through this because of someone else's choices?
Well, for me, it's, of course, having to fulfill the role of both parents financially. That's a big thing, especially living in the DC metro area. But just being that I can't help her feel better about it, and all I can do is just help her through it.
You can't take that pain
I
from
can't
her.
take it away, and I wish as a parent that I could. And sometimes I feel like, it's my fault as well because we choose our mate. And sometimes I feel like, that type of guilt, to be honest with you.
But you don't control.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
So their choices, their mistakes. We were talking before about the justice system and the push for reform. You all are coming from the angle of society has kind of written off incarcerated people and, even worse, their kids. Talk about that point.
So when incarcerated people, when they come out and when they're reintroduced into society, they're really just like the sub area or like a subgroup of society. They're not actually
part of it.
They're not actually welcomed into society again because they've made those bad decisions, because they've committed a crime, because they've broken the law. And so they're just sort of written off as this monstrous person, and that's not always the case. I feel like as humans, we do make mistakes and we do have consequences for our actions, but I feel like once you serve that time, that should be your punishment.
And certainly the kids shouldn't be punished for the parents' decision as well. Where can we find your book?
Well, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it on Barnes & Noble, Kindle, it's available as an ebook. Pretty much anywhere, I guess.
Awesome. Okay, so you said that your father will be released maybe 6 or 7 years from now. At that time, you might be 22, 23. Do you ever think about him missing your prom and your sweet 16 and graduating college?
I do. I try not to focus on that too much because I don't want to make my mom feel unappreciated because she's really she really is there
Your
for me.
support system,
and
yeah.
So, but I do, think about the fact that, he won't be there for my prom. He won't be there to see me walk at graduation. And that's like a big thing for most people, is like for their parents to really see them take that next step and moving into adulthood.
Well, I'm glad, Mom, that you can be there for her and that you've been her pillar of strength. And I'm glad to see that you are coping. I'm glad to see that you've written this book on Amazon. Thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thank
you
you
again.